It's Friday, the 16th of June. I hope this finds you well. I'm eating a Pepto-Bismol because I drank too much Starbucks and my tummy's going crazy. Okay, TMI, TMI. I'm really excited about today's um, presentation. It's on Textile Talks with Martha Sielman, and I'll bet a lot of you aren't even aware that it's out there and what it has to offer us on the internet. It's fabulous. So before we do that, I always want to kill a little time so people can load on. You know that drill. And I want to share with you a plant that John got me maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. We call it a rickrack plant. Okay. I don't know its professional name, but I call it rickrack. And I think he was searching something and it came up as a plant and he ran out to Alden Lane and purchased it for me. I love it because you don't have to, it wants nothing. It wants nothing in return or whatever. So then I heard after he got it for me that it blooms once in a blue lagoon. I like that. That's my own expression. Once in a blue lagoon, it blooms. But the bloom only lasts like 24 hours. So, the other day I was going somewhere and I thought, oh, is this thing going to bloom? Don't bloom. No, not while I'm going to be gone. So I was walking around the block and I went past Steve's and this was on his front porch. And I go, is that the rickrack plant? And he goes, yes. And so it was on his front porch, it was blooming. And then he took me to the side yard and he just had all of them and they were all in states of blooming. Now, I think this is going to have to go outside, I think, for it to really do what it needs to do. But I love this little plant. And again, I don't know its professional name, rickrack plant. Oh, the other thing is when I bought it, Cindy goes, at Alden Lane, when you think you need to water it, don't. And then when you think to water it, don't. So in other words, this poor thing survives on very little nutrition, water, whatever. This side is getting a little funky, so I gave it a little water. Maybe I'll just cut those off because they don't need to make it look so ugly. And I see new growths coming out. Okay, so here, speaking of plants, I have something very sad I have to share with you. Well, let me tell the story first. When we were little kids here in Livermore, you know how you had lunch milk, little milk things in the cafeteria? Well, they sent all of us home with a little redwood sprig in a little milk carton. And they called it the Johnny Appleseed effect in Livermore because they were trying to get trees in and they were redwoods. Well, in Livermore, redwoods don't like it here. It's too hot, but you'll see them all over the valley and in yards because some little kid brought it home and the parents planted it. I remember taking mine home, and I'm not even sure where we planted it, but we did. So then comes the drought. Then comes the tsunami flood of rains that we had this year. And my poor tree is dying. I mean, it is dying, but redwood is one of the trees that will regenerate itself. But I thought I got to take this thing out. Well, I'll show you a picture. It's horrible. And it's regenerating a little bit, but the guy from Davy Tree said it will never come back to full glory. So Monday, it's coming out. I may have to leave. I probably will cry because this is my paradigm right here. This was my grandpa's because he had orchards in Ellis and Bay. And by the way, I saw that one of you went to the clearing and the gal knew my mom and dad. So to take a tree down like this just makes me sick. And Grandpa Telfer had this in his office, and how I ended up with it, I don't know, but I love this. It hangs in my room. Okay. So moving on, I was on Facebook the other day and I stumbled on Kafe Facet's page and I went nuts over this image of his. I love, love, love circles. I think I own every single circle fabric, if you look at the up black and white, that he has ever produced. And look at the tree, okay? I love circles. And so, speaking of circles, look at the cap there. I actually have a cap that I paid $1 million for. It's before I thought I was gonna. It's when I thought I was gonna have to have chemo, and Sparrow got it and ripped the mess out of it, and it made me sick. And then I went and put buttons on it, and that fixed it. I mean, it was expensive. All right. So then we went to Pauline's house, Stone. I was a very good friend of her mom's, who is now deceased, and we went up into her studio, and she collects buttons. And I mean, she seriously collects buttons. And I think those are just magnificent. We oohed and awed, and I think she got a bunch from in New York. I'm not sure, but she loves her buttons. So then we go into her kitchen, and I lost my mind. I have to redo my kitchen. We were supposed to do it early winter. Well, of course, that didn't happen. And I've been agonizing over the backsplash on what I'm going to do. And we've put off, we'll probably do the kitchen this fall. And we have to redo it because all the mice that were in here left. It stinks in my kitchen. Okay, just put it there. It stinks. So look at this backsplash, you guys. Look at this. I went out of my mind. I'm pretty sure they're mother of pearl. I don't think it's that expensive. I was looking at Heath, but I went cuckoo. So now I can't wait to get going on my kitchen because I've got the cupboards figured out and I have that figured out. Let's go. Okay, probably this fall. All right. So, what I want to do right now is go to Martha Sielman. It's Textile Talks. That's what she's part of, but she's also in Sakwa. And, well, I don't want to say much more, but you guys are going to love this. I mean, love this. So, here we go, Martha. There we go. Hello there, Miss Martha. How are you today?
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, so everybody, this is Martha Sielman, and can I tell them our little secret right now?
Sure.
We're like this, our glasses crack. And then
Yes.
the real dirty secret is these aren't even mine, but my eyes are so gross I had to cover them up. So there's the start of this. So listen, I am really excited about today and what you're going to be presenting because I've heard about Textile Talks, but I really don't know, and I know TQS is a
hmm
supporter of it. Now, you
Yes.
are the executive director of Sakwa, right?
Right.
So,
Studio Art Quilt Associates. Yes.
and I have to show this real quick. I didn't share this with you, which was started by Yvonne Porcella.
Oh,
How many years ago?
1989.
Yeah.
And there's her signature black and white. And she
Yeah.
always said, red is a neutral. And oh, she was
She was
wonderful.
so beloved, and she's sadly no longer with us.
Right.
But we did do a legend show on her, and it's 2010. And you people, she is remarkable.
She's amazing.
So you work with Sakwa, but you had to wrangle in 4 groups for this textile talk, right? Tell us
That's
about
right.
that.
So, this is one of the silver linings of the pandemic. Everything shut down, and the 4 organizations, SACWA, the Surface Design Association, the Quilt Alliance, and the International Quilt Museum, all had wonderful, supportive audiences who could not get together. So we started thinking about, well, what can we do? And everybody was being forced onto Zoom to talk to their grandchildren or to go to church or their book club.
Right.
And so we said, well, we'll do one lecture each. And now we're up to 155. And it has just been an amazing gift to be
Well,
able to share this way.
I was going to do one live after
Yes.
COVID, and here we are. So if you had to explain Textile Talks Cliff Note, what is it?
Textile Talks is a weekly presentation on something exciting in fiber art. So that might be quilts, it might be weaving, it might be knitting, it might be installation, it might be paper. One of my favorite presentations was on huge sculptures made of paper. And we showcase one artist or a group of artists each week and then record those presentations, and they're available for free to anybody on YouTube. Just search Textile Talks.
You know, when Lilo, because Lilo works with you, when she came to
Yeah,
me, and I know we do like support it, and but she started surfing me around your site, it blew my mind. I mean,
yeah,
the depth of information there is, it's a historical document. That's what you guys are doing.
absolutely.
Really, really. So let's take a look at some images which you so kindly sent, and
Mhm.
so people can get an idea of the breadth of the whole thing. All
Great.
right.
So this is a still from a presentation that the International Quilt Museum did about one of their exhibitions of a combination of antique and contemporary quilts. Victoria Findlay Wolfe is
Yeah.
contemporary, and that's Maren Hansen, and she's explaining how for this exhibition she wanted to look at circular shapes and how antique quilts have them, but also contemporary quilts.
Now, if I recall, didn't Victoria win the first Modern Quilt Guild show with that quilt?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely, and I love it.
I
Yeah, it's
love
a
that quilt.
great, great
She's
piece.
an amazing creator, just
Hmm.
amazing, because she does take the old and then twists it up so it
Absolutely.
modern. Okay, and then this next one.
So this was a presentation by the Quilt Alliance. It's their 30th anniversary. And in celebration, they've come up with a really fun block of the month project. And this is several of the designers talking about the block that they designed and welcoming everybody to participate.
So we just go to YouTube and start Googling, and we can just watch these
That's
at our
right.
fingertips. Okay, here's another one. Oh,
So, oh, isn't that
yeah.
beautiful?
Yeah.
I love Baltimore album quilts. I would never make one, but I don't have that kind of patience. But oh, are they beautiful? This was a fascinating presentation because it was all about historical research into Baltimore album quilts and trying to trace who had made these antique quilts. And sometimes the historians can find information, and sometimes it's a complete mystery.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw a question to you that I don't even know if you know an answer to or not. But okay, so there's a handful of those quilts, and we can thank Ellie for the Sienkiewicz for the
Oh, yes.
resurgence. Um, is there any truth that perhaps it was not the female head of the household, but the slaves and the workers that worked on these? Do you know anything about that?
I have heard of that.
Uh-huh.
It certainly makes sense to me, but I do not know how often it was one person or another. They so often could be a group effort. And you'd have to look into the research. So
Yeah, so
go to
that's how
Textile Talks and see what they have to say.
and people, that's how rumors get started. So we're just we're not
That's true.
stating fact. Okay, here's another one. Oh, there's that. I got to tell you, in our mini group 100 years ago, Mary Helen Schwinn was diagnosed with cancer, and she wanted to make one of those quilts before she passed, but it became
Mhm.
evident it wasn't going to happen. So our group came together and we made it. It it
Oh,
it
how
didn't get finished,
lovely.
and then her daughter got it and finally finished it. So yeah,
Oh,
those are
yeah.
sheesh. Okay, here's a good one.
So this one just happened a few weeks ago. This is Basil Kincaid. This was again put on um, by maybe the Quilt Alliance. No, no, no. It was the International Quilt Museum. They interviewed Basil about his work, and this was one of the stills from his presentation. He does all kinds of different art with quilts, with fabric, from wearables to installations to this huge piece. And I just love this action shot
I
of
love.
him down on the floor cutting through all the layers.
So I got to tell you, it was when I got to this one, Martha. I'm like going, okay, I can't wait to. I mean, I was like, going, okay. Then I go, whoa, when I saw that. That was
Yep.
amazing. Okay,
And it's a wonderful hour-long interview of him.
nice.
This one is coming from Surface Design Association. That's Meryl in the corner. She was the moderator, and they're talking about the use of fiber art to encourage people to vote. So
Really?
there's three different artists who are doing different things to promote our democratic system and to say you got to go out and vote or your voice won't be heard.
Exactly right. Now, I'm praying that this is going to work. I think it is. You sent me a video that I was super
Yes.
intrigued with. So let's see if I can make that go. Then you can talk about it.
So this is a presentation that Stockwood did of Judith Content's installations.
Okay, hold on a second.
That's okay.
Let's. Okay, now.
So Sakwa interviewed Judith Content about her new body of work, which is all installation pieces. So yeah, and it just makes me feel so peaceful every time I watch those waves blow, coming in and going out. So Judith used to make much more standard art quilts that are hung on the walls.
So she was a
During the
quilter that went
pandemic,
to this.
yeah, during the pandemic, she started saying, well, what if I took them out in nature? But they have to be a little bit smaller. And she's done installations all around the California coast in Northern California where she lives.
Where does she live? Where does she live? Do you know?
Palo Alto.
Oh, that's my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
So those little heads that were on those, I thought that.
those are quilted. Yeah, so she's known for doing shibori dyeing,
Mhm.
and this is shibori discharged, then over dyed, then stitched and mounted on those poles so that she can plant them in different places. She said she originally didn't have them on poles, and they kept washing out to sea, and and passersby would try to help her rescue them. So she said that putting them on poles keeps them in place so she can take the video, take the photos, and then gather them up again because it's very important to her that she create the art, but that it's temporary, and
That it
then
comes
she
down.
takes it all back home again. Yeah,
That video, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
and then Carolyn Mazumi.
yes.
Oh,
So the one of the things that we do is invite guest organizations to present. And the Textile Center of Minnesota, which is in Minneapolis, after the death of George Floyd, invited Carolyn Maslumi to work with them to put together several exhibitions of quilts talking about the African American experience and police brutality and things like that. And then Carolyn came on Textile Talks to talk about the exhibitions and to talk about why, for her, this was so meaningful. She said that when George Floyd was calling for his mother as he was dying, that just pierced her to the heart, and she had to do something to share how she felt. And so it's a really powerful, powerful presentation. The amount of art she was able to gather together in a very short period of time is absolutely astonishing. They put together 4 different exhibitions within Minneapolis, which is sort of bringing it sort of full circle for the community.
So I would again go to YouTube and I would
Yeah.
Google you and then maybe type in her name or just scroll down and then we would get to that.
Google Textile Talks and say you want the full playlist.
Okay.
And yeah, or Textile Talks Carolyn Mesley.
Okay.
Either way should
Okay.
find you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I remember taking a workshop from this lady 40 years ago. Nancy Crow.
Oh, and oh, this was also recent. We had more than 1,700 people sign on live for to hear Nancy talk about her work. This again is a guest organization. This is the Schweinfurth in upstate New York has an exhibition of Nancy Crow's recent work. And Nancy talks about her process. She talks about what she's exploring in each of the pieces. And I don't remember if she said she's 80 or a little bit over, but boy, is she going strong.
You know,
Just amazing.
and she's interesting to watch because she doesn't get stuck in one thing, kind of like a
That's right.
Katie Pasquini. They evolve and
Yes,
change. Artist,
absolutely.
you know. And then this is Ian Barry. I've not
Right.
seen this work before.
No, Ian Barry is from England, and this is completely made of blue jeans.
Blue jeans, I have seen him. I've seen his exhibit. It's
Yes.
amazing.
They're incredible. Every single thing you see in his work is made from denim. There are no paints, no dyes, no pens, none of the things that most of us use to put in shadows or highlights or whatever. It's all tiny, tiny pieces of denim,
And
and it's just amazing.
I'm thinking it was in Paducah he had a special exhibit. I don't think he really thinks of himself as a quilter.
No, he is a fine artist. He got a BFA or an MFA or whatever the equivalent is in England, and he studied painting. But when he graduated, he no longer had access to the studios,
Oh,
to
wow.
all those supplies. But what he did have in his flat was a lot of old blue jeans. And he realized that they, depending on how faded they were in a variety of different tones.
Oh,
And he started creating them instead.
makes you wonder if there was a quilter in his life. Because I know for me, when I saw Jean Ray Laurie's work, in 74 maybe, up on a wall, I'm like going, wait a minute, this is art? And they were felt
Mhm,
pieces. I mean, it's interesting
mhm.
how these things all come together and all that sort of stuff. No, his work is amazing, just
Yes,
amazing. So I don't want to recap because this could go on like with all this wonderful stuff. This all started again at the beginning of the pandemic.
that's right. Yep, April 29th, 2020.
Wow. Let's just look at who you've connected. Okay, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so this map shows all of the different countries, 58 of them, where people have tuned in. And it just goes to show how universal our love of fiber art really is. We're working on getting those other countries colored in orange. Um,
Yeah.
and it's just been an amazing journey and just a tremendous gift.
And you know
Yeah.
what? If COVID hadn't happened, this would not have happened. I mean, maybe at some
That's
point, but
right.
it's the truth. So,
Absolutely. No,
well,
I've been meeting with these ladies who are the other executive directors for 14 years. Had we ever done anything together beyond exchange information? No. It took the pandemic to force us into the modern age.
mhm. And then now here's the trick question.
Mhm.
When Lilo was scooting me around your site, how many quilts do you think you might have logged in there at this point?
Oh, and Sakwa's website?
Oh, wait,
Well,
I thought it was in Textiles Talk.
no, the Sakwa, there is a link to Textile Talks on the
Okay, my
Sakwa.com
bad.
site. Yep. If you go to sakwa.com/textile talks, you can learn all about it. But the SACWA site itself, which is all about art quilts, because that's our organization, has more than 4,000 art quilts right now. We're really trying to build the definitive digital library of art quilts on the SACWA website.
And you know that
And
makes
please
Yvonne happy.
come and enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, and Yvonne's going, smiles.
Yes,
Who'd have
yes,
thought, you know? So,
yes.
hey, Martha, this has been really interesting, and I'm actually going to jam over there and watch some of these myself. I don't
Great.
know what I'm going to start with because you really tease, you know.
Yeah.
And do you just see this as going on and on and on? I hate to put you to the fire on that, but
I certainly hope so because I enjoy it. What somebody said to me is that I would never necessarily do all of the things that are being presented, but I really enjoy learning about them and seeing what other people do because it's people are so creative and
I agree.
innovative and ingenious. And
I
if you want to sign up, if you go to saqa.com, SAQA.com/ textile talks, then you can register for the newsletter, and which is free, and find out what's coming up next week. And we hope you'll join us.
thank you so much. I so appreciate this. And how do we look in our glasses? Pretty good?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. You take care, friend. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I think I need to put glasses on right now. Anyways, I love this. And as soon as we hung up, I thought, okay, what do I want to go watch first? What do I want to go see? Okay, somebody asked, what's an installation? An installation is something that goes up and comes down. It's very temporary art. So super fun. Now, John's coming in, yeah? What? Oh, no, here we go. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, that's so much better. Gotta wear my glasses. And the reason I don't need glasses, I have my cataracts taken off, but I love my glasses. Actually, these are John's. Okay, so what else do we have here? We got a couple more things I want to go through. Textile Talks. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, we've tried so hard to get Carolyn Mazumi on the show. And when we were in Denver, it was she has, I think, an altitude problem or something like that, too high. And then it just didn't work out in Texas. And then I think she's retired. So she is an icon in the quilting industry. And so you want to make sure you watch that one. And I want to see that installation one and the blue jeans. All good. Okay, so let me tell you what's coming up. I'm not quite sure when, but we are going to be doing a summer project with Sarah Long. This is a summer bloom kit. I think we're waiting on some background fabric or something. And I believe you can get it with the background or without the background. I'm not 100% sure. Huh? Robin Long. What did I say? Oh, Robin Long. I'm sorry. This is what you have to put up with me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then we thought, well, let's do a winter one that could be a quilt and or turn into a tree skirt. And how she does it is very, very different how she makes these arcs. So we'll all want to learn that, that's for sure. And we do have a show with her too, Robin Long, that you want to check out. She's a great teacher. Then I was asking Kristen for those two images there. And she said, she said, but she started talking about something called Snag It. And it's new in the store. I haven't even seen it yet. I said, well, send me a picture. It is not an inexpensive item, but it is to help pull your threads into your quilt when you're quilting. So that's my kind of eye of a needle, if you ask me. I can handle that, even with cataracts, okay? So, okay, Monday the tree's coming down. I was going to do this next presentation on Monday, but I talked to the tree guy and he said, no, it's going to be super loud. And that tree is right outside here. So on Wednesday, I did this interview yesterday, all right? It's with Margaret Jankowski. She's out of the Wisconsin area. And this is one of the more profound stories of this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. A little itty bitty seed of an idea has blossomed into one of the most beautiful nonprofits I've seen in a very long time. So we did an interview yesterday, and that will be then put out next Wednesday. All right. So okay, that's what this is. It's you may want to just jam over to that website and take a look see too. And then today's Friday. Yeah, I got to tell you, one of the fallouts of having this surgery is I sleep. I stupid sleep. Okay. Last night, I think I went to bed at 7 and got up at 8 this morning. Stupid sleep. And so I'm a little discombobulated because usually I get up much earlier. But anyways, tomorrow Dee will not be she will not be discombobulated, but she is going to teach us how to make a diamond four patch. Awesome, right? That looks like super fun. Hey, that might be super fun with ties. Yeah, I promise they'll be here. Cross my heart, pinky swear. And last but not least, happy birthday to Jerry, my son-in-law. He is awesome, absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see what the future brings him and what the past has brought him is into our lives. So have a great weekend. Again, I'm sorry I can't do Monday, but it's chainsaws and I'm not even sure I want to be in this room. I'm not even sure I want to be in the house, okay? And then Wednesday we'll be here with Margaret. So have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day. If we have any dads on here right now, John got golf clubs. He's very, very happy. Talk to you guys later. This was good.